A lot of different things can lead to a license suspension, including too many points on your driving record, meaning you were in too many accidents, or you got too many tickets. That's called a negligent operator. A medical condition could lead to a license suspension or revocation, be it diabetes, loss of consciousness. Of course, everyone knows about alcohol-related offenses. DUIs could lead to a revocation or suspension. Not paying fines, not paying child support. A lot of things trigger a license suspension that people wouldn't even realize. Being convicted of a vandalism offense under Penal Code 594 triggers an automatic license suspension. So oftentimes people are pleading guilty to crimes just to find out later in the mail they lost their license for 6 months or a year. So you need to be very, very careful whenever you're accused of a crime to see what the actual implications are beyond just the conviction or the fines. Is there going to be any impact on your ability to drive? Driving on a suspended license could lead to not only fines upwards of $1,000, it could lead to imprisonment in the county jail for a year, and it could also lead to more implications on your license, more points on your license, and it could implicate insurance as well. So you got to be very careful when you're accused of driving on a suspended license. One of the most common things that I get from clients is when they're in my office, they tell me that they didn't know their license was suspended. So the issue comes up of knowledge or notice of the suspension. When someone's pulled over and the officer runs their plates or their license and their license is suspended, the way the DMV or the courts determine notice is, were they mailed notice of the suspension or revocation? And that's sufficient notice for the courts. So if you have a DUI, you plead guilty, and you receive something in the mail which says your license goes into suspension on XYZ date, that's the date your license goes into suspension. Whether or not you read it and understood it and took it to heart, that's your thing. The courts are only interested in whether or not it was mailed. So notice is often a very, very important issue when trying to convict someone of driving on a suspended license. Here at Wallin Klarich, we have a lot of different strategies we use based upon the client and the case and the set of facts. So specifically, what we try to do is impress upon the court and the DA's office that our client has a great track record, gainfully employed, is a part of the community, is charitable. Then we try to address the facts and see whether or not the state's going to be able to prove up the case, because although on its face driving on a suspended license seems simple, there's elements that need to be met. So we take our client's version of events and we compare it with the elements of the crime, and we're extremely good at developing a unique approach to each case here at Wallin Klarich.